Do you know how I know that the American Eagle campaign with Sydney and her Sweeneys was not anti Semitic or probably not meant to be? Because American Eagle, the entire upper company is run by Jewish people. The chairman, CEO, last name is Schottenstein. I think that's an Ashkenazi Jewish type of situation. That's Jewish heritage. It's a publicly traded company, but and the Jews do. They have all their hands in all kinds of fashion. One day we're gonna do a video about anti-Semitism itself. I'm gonna do a whole video about it. And I've actually been doing a lot of recon for this video recently. And maybe someone can figure out where it came from because nobody knows. Let me explain real quick. And then we'll get to Sydney and her Sweeneys and all the little problems she is pushing. So this is very interesting. If you think about America, I'm going to keep this super quick and try to. If you think about America, the history, our history, which is nasty and dark. Honey, I live in the South. I was raised in the South. We all know what happened here. And nobody that is alive today is cool with it. And if they are, they're crazy psychopaths, psychopathic person. But if you look at the context of what our history and what happened, okay? Black people disliking white people, I mean, it actually makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying it's productive at all. I'm just saying, in the context of what happened before, which, yes, was a long time ago, none of us were alive when that happened. It's nobody here's fault. But not long enough ago that anyone's forgotten. In the context here, that makes sense. I'm not saying it's productive. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying anyone should do it. I'm just saying there seems to be a reason there. But this is a very fun experiment. Go up to any person, and I've done this. I've done it like 20 or 30 times now. And say, here, it does make a little sense why Black people aren't super into white people all the time. And you know, all of the violence against human right now are human to human problems that have many, they stem from many causes. Racism isn't the only problem. In America, all of you guys, all of us, overstressed, overworked, underpaid, so many more people nowadays, even just wondering where their next meal is going to come from. That's a whole nother video too. Oh my goodness, I'm getting off track. Where were we? Oh, okay. Go up to anyone and say, hey, question. It makes a little bit of sense why we'd have some lingering resentment from Black to white considering what happened. But why does anyone ever hate the Jews anywhere? What did they do? Nobody knows the answer. Nobody knows the answer. Watch how confused they get. It's interesting to watch the confusion literally just pour over people's faces, which is so weird because with anti-Semitism and the way it is growing somehow, it feels like nobody's asked, like, what, but what, I mean, you guys, the Holocaust, they were not the antagonists in that situation. Nobody knows the answer. This is not just Jamie being a dense Jamie thing. This isn't like the igloo situation. Nobody knows the answer. It's very interesting. I mean, I understand that in other parts of the world, and maybe a long, long time ago, it was more of a biblical debate, frustrations, whatever. But if you ask most Americans today, where, why, what happened, what did they do? What did they do? Nobody knows, because I don't think anything happened. It's anti-Semitism is such an odd but powerful and psychologically interestingly deep example of groupthink and mob mentality. I've asked you to do it. I'm telling you, do it. They'll get confused. Nobody has ever been able to answer that question for me, at least. Nobody. Not one person. Google don't know either. Although, to be fair, we all know Google is a man because he's pretty ambiguous. 87 different answers. I don't know. Humans are weird. We're weirdos. Anyways, Sydney. Sydney Sweeney is a beautiful woman. Beautiful. And I'm not someone who really watches movies at all. Most movies that came out within the last 10 years, I have never seen them. And that's a mix between having narcolepsy and fibro and always catching up on other stuff. I'm always busy, especially nowadays. I'm a mom on a mission. I do not have time to sit down and watch a movie. But I do watch YouTube. There's a channel called Jamie French, and I will link her below. Actually, I'll link this video below. If you're watching on Facebook, I'll link it in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link it in the description. And let me write this down so I don't forget. Where she does hilarious movie reviews. Sometimes I'm having a horrible day, I will just watch her movie reviews. Hilarious. Oh my goodness. Anyways. And that was the only reason I knew, because she reviewed the movie, the one with the guy. What is it? Something, You're Not It, or something like that. Whatever last big movie she was in, that one. And I would never watch that movie, but I loved her review of it. It's so funny. But anyways, and so I saw, and she's everywhere, and I thought, this is a beautiful woman. So beautiful. And then here we are, like 6 months later, probably, maybe longer, I don't know. And I think, if with everything that we've seen, now keep in mind, this is a little bit of a biased opinion, because I already admitted I don't watch movies. All I see is this chick touching herself and undressing, sitting in the bathtub. Like, it seems so exploitative. It seems exploitative, one, of men, because it's a thirst trap. There's no other way to put it. And it seems very dangerous to women. Just the rest of us. The not Sydney or her Sweeneys. Women nowadays, in today's society, I mean, look at what they're doing. Injecting themselves with things, going under the knife to get, like, there is so much pressure, and you can't blame this on any individual woman, because if it was an individual problem, it wouldn't be so widespread. It wouldn't be such an innate problem that women are so, they I know you guys compare yourselves to perfection every day. And I have a secret for you. Perfection doesn't exist anywhere. Anywhere. Those models that you see on Instagram, their bodies, you don't look like that because they don't either. Even when I was modeling back in high school, I mean, it's different now because we have phones, and they can do it right from their phone. And there's paid apps where you can do that. You know there is. Or you change your body. It's interesting how people are so quick to like blame like the Kardashians and whatever for setting unrealistic body standards for regular, healthy, normal women, while girls on Instagram are doing the same thing and getting praised. Very interesting. We are living in a culture and time in human history right now. No, that didn't make any sense. History right now doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Where the blatant and just dehumanizing disrespect and objectification of human women, human people, women, we are human beings, is the commonality and social acceptance of it all has made it so that it's not only accepted, it's almost expected. And it's gross because not everyone wants to be everyone's sex doll. The fact that we see is Sydney Sweeney. I even saw an interview, and this might not be true. I don't know. Hearsay, you never know. When someone says this, that someone said this, or I don't know. If you didn't see it for your own eyes, it's hard to believe. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. But on the set of SNL, when she did SNL, I feel like it was multiple of them were in an interview, the staff, and they were like, she was begging us to talk about her boobs. That was all she wanted to talk about and make jokes about was her boobs. And it's just like, oh my God. No wonder men don't take women seriously still, and it's getting worse because of the Sydney Sweeneys of the world and Kim Kardashian, whatever, their family too, whatever. Everyone says they hide their plastic surgery, but I don't think that they do because they know that we know. And we know that they know that we know. Like, everyone knows that the Kardashians gotten a lot of plastic surgery forever. It's just not a secret. And it's mostly the main one, Kim, that over-sexualizes herself. I mean, don't get me started on the bras with nipples. That's only cool for like maybe like cancer survivors who, wanted to feel, like themselves again, like their nipples. Anyways, okay, we're back. But it's just, it's gross. Just like, I get upset sometimes I have to bra and leave the house because people judge me. And it's like, I don't want to be strapped down. I'm a person. And I was born with nipples just like everyone else. Just like you. Should be judged for them. Oh, ugh, gross. Okay. Anyway, unless you want to be. So bringing it all together, between the impossible body standards we have being set by the Kardashian types and many other celebrities, unattainable, impossible for a regular person without a private chef, a private trainer, whatever. I mean, and plastic. So that's fine. They're Let them do what they want to. Who cares? They're by their choice. But between that and now we have Sydney Sweeney over here touching herself, like, our teenage girls, I feel like, don't stand a freaking chance. With the rise of OnlyFans, and I said in one of my last videos, I'm pretty sure it was I'm Not Food video, I do not hold any judgment towards any regular girl on OnlyFans. And I'm going to tell you why. And nobody should. Because if you don't walk in their shoes or sleep in their bed or live in their head, you don't know what that person has to work with, you know? So it's hard to judge. It's hard to judge someone's choices when you don't have the slightest idea of the options that person had to choose from. And that's just human and human. We don't know as much as we think about people. However, Sydney and her Sweeneys just went to the Bezos wedding. I'm pretty sure she's not struggling for a roof anytime soon. Like, it's just getting a little much. Write a book, for the love of God. At least balance it out somehow. Like, not every woman wants to be treated or looked at as a sex doll. I promise you this. And a lot of guys get that very, very confused. And we have the dum-dums like Sydney Sweeney, and that was rude. I shouldn't have called her that, but I think about my teenage daughter, and I look at it so much differently than I did when I was a teenager. It looks different when you have a young daughter. When you have a daughter who you know should never, ever, ever have to compromise themselves in any way because a man told them to. When you know you have a daughter that you don't ever want to have her to rely on her vagina. Sorry to be so brass. We want better for our daughters. This kind of stuff aren't even things I thought about when I was younger. I would have been like, oh, Sydney's feeling so hot. Like, I don't know. I mean, as Jamie, I've always been a little sidetracked all the time. So falling into those tropes didn't really affect me or affect my self-esteem. But that was 25 years ago when I was 15. Times are very different. The pressure to be perfect for young girls is different. It's heavier, it's harder. And I just don't think Sydney Sweeney's doing the world any favors. Like, girl, get an OnlyFans. Release a sex tape if you want to. Get it over with. Like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it. But also, she's young. I'm pretty sure. How old is she? Let's Google. Oh, I wonder if Siri will listen to me. Hey, Siri. How old is Sydney Sweeney? Oh, she's 27. Still pretty young. I don't know. For me, chipping away at the self-esteem of every not millionaire teenage girl in America wouldn't be worth whatever paychecks she's getting. So, and that's from someone who's been homeless. I don't know. We need to rethink, because if we are giving all of this attention to women who are going to flat out have no respect for themselves as individuals, outwardly, publicly, clearly. We need to rethink the way we're talking to our daughters and the way we're talking to each other about the value of women. She's just killing feminism. I'm not even into feminism. Lady or male, both can be assholes. Human to human, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else. Anyways, I have a couple more videos to do. As always, thank you guys so much. We will stay grateful for all of our blessings, every single one of our challenges. And remember, we don't just tell our daughters they're pretty. Don't just tell your daughter she's pretty. Tell her she's pretty smart, pretty brave, pretty powerful, pretty intelligent, pretty kind, not just pretty. Pretty doesn't get you a win in life. Not in here. Thanks, guys. Oh, and go buy some merch. I will link it below.